That's my rescue dog, Skippy. That's all I got left. I'm sorry. Reversal. It's a tendency I have reversing things. That was my lightning. Skippy's gone. He's up in heaven right now. Uh, he was a great rescue, and he left us a few days ago. Okay, so this is a live on Friday. Friday the I'm gonna say October 24th on Friday, and it's question and answer day for anybody out there that has questions or answers. Here, one more. I got a couple more left for him. That's about it. So question and answers is always on Friday. If nobody comes up with a question or answer, I have to do a thumbnail. Not that I want to, but kind of have to, I guess, because I'm live. What are you going to do? And if you look at any of my episodes, I did not edit. I was not live, but I did not edit anything. So technically, I was still live. Just something to put on the back shelf. Oh, what do we got here? I'm going to take these glasses off. It's a little bright here, but I think I can see something with these glasses. Okay, what do we got? Hey, YTGG 9090 official. Hey, how you doing? What do you got a question? You got a question from your heart? Give it to me. If not, I'm going to have to go with my thumbnail. I'm trying to put it off as long as I can because some people could say it's negative. A lot of things in life can be negative. But if you realize this, if you can realize this, that no matter where you are as a human being on this planet, you have something to offer, and there's a balance that you hold. You hold this balance on this planet on some level. No matter whether you're working or not working, whether you're working with people or not working, it's just you being here, you hold the balance, okay? So what do we got? Man, oh man. I'm good. How are you? Who do we got here? Official 99, yeah. You are good. Question I will need to think about. Okay, think about the question you want to tell me or ask me. And we got Bailey's. Bailey's, hello Bailey's. Bailey's, I've seen you before. Do you enjoy cannabis? Do I enjoy cannabis? Do I enjoy cannabis? See, that's a topic that this is Friday, question and answer. And that's from your heart. I'm sure you're asking. I, at one time, I lived out in the desert at a spiritual hot springs nudist commune. They didn't like commune. They said community, but it was still the same. The clothes were optional, and this is at a hot springs in Arizona. So I lived with. Well, in October. Hey, this is October right now, isn't it? They might be having something going on. So October was the big festival about the harvest of cannabis all over Hawaii, India, believe there was other countries. The highest growers on the planet ended up at the place where I was living for a year, barefoot with just a blanket, a staff, and going for just eating raw foods and becoming a breatharian. I didn't go into all that yet, but I'm just giving you a synopsis. So your question is, do you enjoy cannabis? Now, I did for 50 years. Not only did I enjoy it, but it was part of my, well, let's just say my regiment. And but getting back to the growers that I lived with, they were from all over the world. I had the best cannabis in the world. The best cannabis. The best. Well, it was weed. No, they said if you said it was weed, you're going to be excommunicated. I'm sorry, that's Catholic. They said you won't get in anymore. So I said, hey, I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to call it that. I'm going to call it herb. They wanted to call it sacrament. Nah, it's no sacrament. It's a weed, and it's a herb, and you don't praise it. You don't glorify it. But these people did, and they grew it, and I was with them for well, the best on the planet at that time where I was living. And I was the only one with another guy that we all were around a big fire, and we all partook in the herb. Now they call it medicine. At that time, you go to jail. They can't round up everybody, and now they're making it to where it's fantastic stuff for you, but it isn't. Know why? Because they're putting stuff in it that wasn't in there when I was partaking in it. That'll be another story. I promise you I will go into it because you brought up this question. But yeah, I did it for 50 years. And then once I got the medical card, they legalized it. So for 50 years, I could have been thrown in jail. But now, which, put that on the back shelf. That will be the topic of what I'm going to talk about as soon as these questions are done. I went to jail. Yeah, Uncle Martin went to jail. I'm not proud of it, but I did go, and I'm going to, as soon as we get these questions done, I should have brought my magnifying glass out. Yeah. Okay, I got to go back a little bit. I'm going to take these glasses off. I think I get better. Would you ever go back in camping in the desert, and would you become interested in Campavan? That's an interesting question. Campavan. I don't know about Campavan. Hey, what's going on here? If you wanted me to remove you, I would not. Okay, so Campavan. I got to get Campavan. No, I don't know. I could probably go back and living off the land, but I would have more money in my bank, I'm sure, that I did. Okay, hey, Bally's Smith, thanks for the story. I'm not even done yet, man. Thanks for the story. Uncle Martin, just wanted to stop by and see you. Hey, Denzel, how you doing? You're looking well. So where we're at is I'm living with growers that, well, man, I'm telling you, it's a 3-story Victorian house. I believe it was Mick Jagger or could have been Paul McCartney that owned it at the time. It's out in the desert. No one really told us other than someone big owned this. I'm not kidding you. I lived there for a year and I didn't see either one of these jokers. Well, these people. But I saw a lot of the people all over the planet come in there on the Indian Spiritual Hot Springs that I lived at, barefoot with a blanket. I'll show you kind of the blanket that I had and a staff that I kind of still have. Okay, Alistair Jetter said hi. Hey, Alice Jetter, hello. This is on just talking about when I lived with the growers. Somebody asked me if I smoked the medicine. Back then it was called they call it sacrament. I wouldn't go there. I said I'm not going to say sacrament. I don't think so. It's a weed. Not only that, it's an herb. So I said pass the herb, and they did. So I didn't get excommunicated from the gang, and that's what I was going to say. Man, it's like how long? 10 minutes now. I'm trying to get into when I went to jail. It's not funny. What do you do when you go to jail? Well, you have no fear, hopefully. Okay. Somebody wants to give me $1. God bless you, man. Just give it to some homeless person that has nothing to eat. Give him some water. Give him a sandwich, all right? Okay, Jetter, Alistair, that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, I pronounce a lot of things differently than probably some. But the point is that we put things up on a pedestal for how high it is, you know? I may look like Santa, but you know what? Some people said I look like a lot of other people. Who's this well-known singer? I don't think I'm related to. So what we want to say is when all the growers came together in October at this area, we sat around in a big circle on a big bonfire. And there was like about, I would say 48, maybe 52 of us. And everybody brought out their little goodies. And everybody smoked their little goodies. So by the time you got around, everybody's smoking everybody's goodies. There was only 2 people sitting up. And that was another guy and me. And this guy was a crazy guy from, he was from, where was he from? He was from California. And he grew his stuff up by some pine trees and mango up 10,000 feet. And he brought in big mason jars of like dozen mason jars. And it just had, that really wiped everybody out pretty much. Although that stuff from Africa really did a number on a lot of people. But anyway, long story short, this guy from Mount Palomar, well, actually it was Fallbrook, California. I can't say it. I'm not going to say his name because he's still probably around. My point being, where do you live and what state? Because where I live, it's dark. Okay, Alistair, where do I live? I live in Arizona. It's very light here. And we get really excited when there's a cloud in the sky, which there isn't any, but we had a lot of rain coming down. Okay, just try to answer questions as they come. I got to go back a little bit on the rest road again. On the rest road, in a good way. All right, guys. I try to answer questions because this is answer question day, but I want to get something across to you that I did go to jail. And I got something for you. Okay, this is what I got for you. I did this 2 years ago. Actually, 3 years ago. Yeah, because this is the 3rd year. So what I got is I put all my stuff up on YouTube at once, like 29 episodes, about a half hour's worth. You never do that. You never, ever do that. If you got a channel, you're going to do a channel, do a little bit at a time. You don't do 29 half-hour episodes. What happens is your algorithms get thrown off, let alone if you put it under kids only, then all you get is a thumbs up or thumbs down. You don't get a comment. I didn't know that. I just figured, it took me 2 years to figure out how to get a channel. I'm a little, dyslexic, and I don't know how to do things, and nobody would help me. So I had to finally help myself with the angels of God to get this going. And I still screwed up. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I wasn't supposed to be out there on the public platform. Maybe I was just supposed to be out there for the certain amount of people that were supposed to be watching. That's what I'm thinking also. There's no accidents in life. So what I did was 2 years ago, I did Go to Jail. And that was episode 64. 64, go to jail. Scroll down to that one, and you'll find that I only have 97 views. Why was that? Because I put it up for kids only. And for the last year, I opened up for everybody, and finally I got 97 views of it. Well, actually, you know what? I don't think I've had any views. I had 11 likes. 11 likes is positive because you only need four likes to 100 people. And I got 11 likes to 97 views. So that's kind of positive. But nobody promoted it because I put in 29 videos at once. All right? That's just the way it works. Do one at a time. Do not go 30 at a time. That's my suggestion to anybody opening up their YouTube channel. You know, I didn't know that. Okay. So what do we got here? Oh wow, we got all kinds of questions here. Let me get it closer. These glasses, I don't know if they're working. There's a lot of sunlight here. Okay, so I'm gonna lower my hat. Okay, so on the road again. We're at a state because we live in a dark. Yep, we got that one. Hey, you remind me of my teacher. Hey, Alyssa, I remember your teacher. Hope he was a positive teacher for you. I knew it. And how old are you? You look 32. Well, I look 32. Well, that's very bless your heart. I do not put a cage around myself. There is no age. There is more experience, less experience. When you understand that, you'll understand where I'm coming from since I've been 32. Alistair, do you believe in God? Do I believe in God? Absolutely, I believe in God. You know why? Because God has helped me on every issue that I've had in my life. That would be another topic. Alistair, that's great. Okay, that's great advice. Okay, Alistair. Alyssa, I'm sorry. The sun's blinding my eyes. And I've seen you before, Alistair. You believe in him? That's good to believe. Because you know why? Because when I was in jail, and that's where I'm going right now. Okay, 17 minutes. I think we still got some sunlight left. And that's where the thumbnail is going. When I was in jail and how I dealt with someone that everyone was afraid of. All right? I will not go past tense. If you go to jail, number 64, episode 64, you'll have the halfway point of where I'm picking up right now, because I'm not going to regress. And not only that, you know what? If you go to jail, episode 64, anybody that's watching right now or someday will be watching, if you go to jail, episode 64, and you don't laugh one time, I don't want you as a subscriber. Just take me off, all right? Just take me off as a subscriber. Because, I'm sorry, not that you don't have cosmic humor, but you have no humor at all. That I witnessed some things in Go to Jail, episode 64, that not many people recognize as a possibility. Okay? Okay. Good night. Alyssa Jatter, I think you're a subscriber. Please check out Go to Jail number 64. I only got 97 views and 11 likes, which is pretty high for back then, because I didn't open up for the public. Now, what we're going with this thumbnail, God almighty, it's 19 minutes in. I gotta hurry up. It's gonna be under the thumbnail is no fear in jail. Now, what would Uncle Martin say? No fear in jail. Uncle Martin has been saying since the very beginning of life here on all of my channels, on all of my videos. From the time I was 4 years of experience, I learned about fear. And fear is the killer of the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit. Fear will kill you as far as you can't take one little step. So, fear has to be eliminated on some level. And if it's not, then you got some problems. And that was where I was at in my stage of life, that I was put in jail for a reason. Now, when I was going to jail, I had a multimillionaire Aunt Nancy that was going to pay my fine. And I said, no, it's not going to happen. My parents were saying the house that I live in now, they were going to put it up for a mortgage and they would pay my fine. I said, no, no, no way. I did something negative. I did something wrong. I stole something. It wasn't a fire truck. It was it's not funny, but I had somewhere to go. It was an emergency. So I stole a captain's car out of it was out of Malibu, and I crashed it. I smashed it all up. So I totaled it. So I did something negative. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have, even though it was an emergency. So what I was going to do was I was going to throw myself at the mercy of the court. And what the court did was they threw me in jail for a half a year. I had a half a year to go to jail. All right. Okay, so I got to just see who's left here. Hey, I thought you were going home, Jester. Okay, I will. Will you do another live tomorrow? Tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do another live tomorrow. Come back tomorrow, 5 o'clock. You'll be fine. And watch this one at 6 a.m. because that's when I get credit. If you're coming in late, please do that. So, where we're at now is I'm bypassing the first episode of Go to Jail, episode 64. Only had 97 views and 11 likes, but that's pretty positive for not being open and everything. So I had this is the second half of it. So I just got to go back a little bit. The guy that said I took his job for pushing all the food to the guards, that's that guy. I took his job. I'm not going to go any further. They wanted me to bring the guards food. The second thing was Slim, the guy with the big knife. He was a carver. He did the meat. And when he sliced it back of my see, I had hair a little bit longer, and when I felt it go through my hair and the back of my spine, and he had this knife, and I turned around, we call him Slim. That's all I'm going to go with right now on that, because you have to go back to when I went to episode 64. My brother was facing months in prison. Our family evasion and crashed out, so reckless driving, etc. Only got half a month of jail and administrative probation. Well, that was very fortunate that he only got half a month. I had half a year. I was half a year with some convicts, which I'm going into right now. It's not funny, but there's no accidents in life. That's what it comes down to. Are you going to take accountability for what you do, what you did, or not? There's people that are going to pay your fine, but karmically, you're going to have to take care of it. And that's what I said. I said, my parents and my aunt were not going to take care of this. I will do it myself. So I went to jail for it was 6 months I was supposed to go to jail. But you could get out 3 months early if you're on good behavior. What are the chances of that? Getting out on good behavior when you're in jail? Nil to none. And that's why I want you to go back to Go to Jail, episode 64, when I started this 2 years ago. I got more for you right now. So there's Big Samoan. Okay, let's get down to the brass tacks. Big Samoan. Now, technically, Big Samoans, or any Samoan, the normal size of a Samoan is like 227 pounds. That's the normal size. This guy was like plus that. He would have been about 350. He was a Samoan that was about 350. And everybody feared this guy. In fact, they actually told me, excuse me, they told me to stay away from this guy because he has no heart. This big Samoan has no heart. And I thought, guy has no, well, he's breathing, he's got to have a heart. They were telling me about how he took out a lot of people, and you want to stay away from this guy. But you know what? I was brought up with no fear from 4 years of experience. Well, when that Yaqui shaman medicine man came in on that episode, the live episode that I did, Yaqui shaman medicine man, everybody's running away from this guy. And I stood my ground and I shook his hand and we became friends. Well, that was pretty much the same thing that happened with me and a big Samoan. I don't know his name, all right? So what we got here is this big Samoan. The sun's going down pretty quickly. It's gonna be a great sunset, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. So Samoans have a Baha'i faith. It's called the Baha'i faith, and I was pretty much familiar with the Baha'i faith. Not to the extent that I pretty much learned from the gentleman, but it pretty much correlates with Christianity. You know, I know I pretty much understand the 8 major religions, and I got to look up if Baha'i faith is one of them, but it seems pretty positive because, their understanding of heaven and hell, it's not a physical thing. Heaven is a state of spiritual closeness to God. And hell is a state of distance from God. And it's caused by spiritual ignorance and attachment to the material world. Isn't that so true? This world is so attached to the material. And, so was I. I was brought up. You got to have money. That's material. And I had women. I had 30 women before I was 30. And by the time I was 30, I had more than 30. I can't go any more than that. I'm just saying there's more in life than money and women. But some people don't even realize that yet. That's what I'm saying. So the other aspects of the Baha'i faith would be they have the oneness of God, elimination of all prejudice, let's say equality of men and women. Hey, equality of men and women, that's rather rare, isn't it? And then you got harmony with science and religion. Now, science and religion has not had harmony yet, but yet back in the Atlantean days, they did. And that would be another story for you. And then they also believe the independent investigation of truth. Wow, independent investigation of truth? Hey, are we able to do that now? Yeah. And then you got Jesus. They believe Jesus was a divine manifestation of God. He was the Son of God. And also affirm the virgin birth. Sounds pretty positive. Although, what is it, the Protestants? I think the Protestants, Baptists, somebody about that. They don't believe in Mother Mary. That's kind of, I don't know. I feel that negative because I prayed to Mother Mary every time I did. I got what I needed. And then, Jesus was the divine manifestation of God and the Son of God. And they affirm the Virgin Mary's birth. I like that part. Now, Bahá'í is their understanding of their master, let's say, that they follow. And that guy was born in 1817, November 12th, to 1812. That was in Tehran, which is now Iran. So I wonder how that works. But I guess it works kind of okay, because the the understanding was they believe in the Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, and all these things. So the Baha'i faith, I discussed with this big fellow that everybody was afraid of. They were afraid of this guy. In fact, they said, "Stay away from that guy. He's Baha'i faith. He's a killer, and not only that, he has no heart. Guy has no heart." Oh, really? So I've always noticed from people that tell me things, it's usually half truths. So when I went over to talk to this guy, I had to talk to him. Know why? Because I have no fear, and if everybody's afraid of this guy, I definitely got to talk to him. Why are they afraid? So that's what happened. Oh man, there's all kinds of stuff going on here that I didn't even read. I'm sorry, guys. What's going on here? All of the Sudan in the middle of the October sun and the source go down 6 when it would be gone, down an hour or two later, 2 weeks before the season's changing. Hey, that's very interesting. I appreciate that. Okay, what else we got? Minds can't be quantified in a triangle sense of field, like objects can. Take some people of lifetime to realize they sometimes beyond they can hold. Yes, this is true. The concept of peoples of awareness and comprehension is very limited sometimes. Extra Act 1886. I can't be truly religious without a heart. This is so true. This is a very true story. I like that. Without a heart, you have nothing. All right. That's what I was saying. They were saying this guy in jail, this big Samoan, over 300 pounds, had no heart. He was killing people and stuff, and all that stuff. And fear. So, yeah. Well, yeah. Looks like a nice guy to me. So anyway, no, just. I'm just saying, I'm trying to get through this as fast as I can. It's 30 minutes. I promise you, I'll try to go as fast as I can. So this Samoan that we're discussing religion. I'm a Christian. Yeah, I'm Christian. Well, actually, I know all the 8 major religions. I didn't know Baha'i, and I don't even know if it's if it's part of the 8 religions, major religions. But it correlates with Christianity, as I was trying to get understanding before. So as my understanding goes, I had to talk to him, especially when they said he has no heart, but he was destroying people left and right. I don't know. I was drawn to the guy. Well, see, my mom told me when I was 10 years of experience, she said, "Hey, she was an astrologer. She said, "You got all these planets around you. You got this, but you got Pluto." I said, "What's Pluto mean, Mom?" She says, "That's the underworld." I said, "Underworld? Wow." She says, "Yeah, the underworld. That means you can go grab people from the underworld and bring them over to your side." I said, "Wow, Mom, that's fantastic." That I was 10 years of experience at that time. So now I'm in jail, like much later in time span. So I'm thinking, hey, well, if this guy is doing all these negative things, maybe, and he's not really a mortal enemy. Like I talked about in the past, where I had a lot of mortal enemies that I grabbed and I brought them over to my side. I figured, well, maybe I could talk to this guy and see what's going on. So he told me all the stuff that I just told you. So we correlated in an understanding that, well, we're on kind of the same level of understanding that love, light, understanding giving it out is a positive thing. And all these people that were saying that he was doing destructive things to people, beating them to a pulp. Well, maybe they deserved it. I don't know. I wasn't there. But he had been there for a while. So now me and him have a camaraderie. All right. So now I'm getting back to where an episode Go to Jail, episode 64, is where I left off on this point right here. So I was pushing a cart. I was bringing food to the guards, and the guards would be very happy that I was bringing it to them because they could trust me. They couldn't trust the other guy that I took his job from, and that's the point to remember. The guy I took his job from is very important. It's going to come full circle. So as I'm dropping off the food and everybody, all the guys, we're all talking, chit chat and stuff. I was saying, I'd like to get out of this job. I like to go over to carpentry. And they said, no, you can't go to carpentry. That's very rare. You can't go to carpentry. And I looked at the carpentry teacher. He says, no, I got one guy, and that's all there is that I need. So I did it for like another month, maybe two months of bringing the food. Now, when the guards were done eating, they always had a dessert. And they didn't finish the dessert. So when I was coming back through the cells, the big Samoan, he says, "Is there any dessert?" I said, "Yeah, well, I guess." I gave him dessert, whatever it was, cherry pie, muffins, whatever. I don't know. So we had not only our understanding of our belief system, but he had food of desserts. He didn't want anything else but dessert. And the rest of the stuff I just brought back to the kitchen. Everybody is scarfing down on it. I didn't eat any of that stuff, but that's just what I'm saying. So when it came down to, okay, in episode Go to Jail 64, when that big black guy and everybody, the black guy and me were in this cooler, and the guards were there and nothing happened and all that. I'm starting from there because I'm not going to go back to all that. So I knew something was going to happen with the guy that I took his job, and then the other guy with the big knife, Slim, that went down the back of my neck. I knew there was going to be a problem. So when the next time I went through and I gave the food to everybody, I said, hey, you know what? We just had a situation today where I had I didn't take the guy out, but there's something going to go down. There's something going down probably tonight or tomorrow to where I will be involved and I will have to protect myself. And I don't care, but I want to join another club here. I want to get out of the whites, which was food, and I want to go into the blues. The whites were in one category. Look at it this way. It's an octagon, big octagon in jail. Where I was at. Big octagon. It had all these areas. And then in the middle was the eye of the octopus. That was the guards. And at 11 o'clock, they just shut everything down and everybody could do whatever they want. That would be another story. I won't go there. So I said to the guards, I'm delivering the food, and I said to the guards, I said, you know what? I don't think we're going to go very far here with peace and harmony. I'm going to have to protect myself, and I don't care which way it goes. And I want to be a carpenter. That's much. And they said, and prior to that, they said carpentry is out of the story. But the carpentry teacher said, the carpenter guy said, I'll take you. I'll take you tomorrow. Don't worry about it. So I was out of whites and I went into carpentry. I was in blues. Now I'm in blues, and the big Samoan is in blues. But I forgot to tell you, the guy in whites that went by all the time, he antagonized. It's kind of a funny story, but I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to forget about that. I'll go into that another time. I want to keep this short as possible. So I go now. I'm now the next day into carpentry. So I'm there for like another month. I'm doing carpentry stuff. I'm a carpenter. 9 inches. 9 inches is where you pound a 9-penny nail. Plus we made things, and every time I well, the officer said, "Fantastic, we did a completion." I love that, because in life we start things and we don't finish them, but when we finish them, it's a completion. You can think about that later on. So now it's okay. I'm going to end this right now because I've had it. Hey, Alyssa, you're back again. All right. Check this out from the beginning at 6 a.m. so I get credit for it. Would you please, Alyssa? I don't know where you went, but God bless you being back. So now it's at the end of the story where we hold a balance, where we hold a balance in life. We all hold the balance. I don't care if you're a flower, an animal, a human being. We're all holding balances here on this planet. And human beings hold the most balance. And I didn't realize that until what happened. And many jobs that I've gone to, when I left them, how the balance was held that I didn't realize. So at this point, I'm in a holding cell. Okay, by the way, if you're ever in jail, just remember this. They're going to say, "What are you in for?" And you'll say, I don't know, murder, killing, I stole something, whatever. And they say, "When are you getting out?" That'll be the next question. And the next question will be, whatever, September 12th, September 9th. You always say the day before. Remember this. Anybody that, God forbid, you go to jail. If you go to, you never tell them the due date that you're leaving, because they're going to do something to you. Trust me on this one. So what I did was, because see, the guy before me, about a week before me, they said, "What? Oh, he's leaving tomorrow." They got a black magic marker, and they went over his whole face with black magic marker. He had a beard, but he didn't. He really didn't. And that was black magic marker. It's permanent, doesn't take off. So that's one of the, and probably other things that could happen to you. So when they asked me, "When are you leaving?" I said, "Oh, well, I'm leaving on Tuesday." But I was really leaving on Monday, coming up that next week. So when it came down to, I'm in a holding cell. Well, first of all, I grab my bunk. I roll up my bunk. I'm on the way. And they said, "Where are you going?" I said, I miscalculated. And they're all looking at me like, "Oh God, oh God." So I was holding the balance there on probably different levels. And I was leaving. I had to wait in this holding cell. And when I was waiting in the holding cell, it was like for 12 hours. And in the holding cell, they said, "Do you know what happened? Do you know what happened to the guy in the white hair, long hair guy?" He was a real nice looking guy. We played cards together. In fact, I played cards with everybody. I played cards with blacks, white, Indians. I played with all these guys all on the same table. And that was, okay, that's the story that, we played cards. We all played cards together. And some of them were they were Nazis. Those guys. Well, they just didn't like blacks. But I had those people playing with blacks, Indians, and myself. We were playing different card games. That's what I'm saying. I brought people together. I brought them together on at least playing cards and an understanding of harmony and some kind of light, I guess. So I'm just saying I was just me. So I'm sitting in the holding cell waiting to get out for 12 hours. Now, another guy shows up. He says, hey, do you know what happened? I said, no, what happened? He says, there was a mass riot. There was a mass riot that, okay, I failed to tell you that they had these big pewter, yeah, you know, jugs, pewter jug. It was like crummy stuff. It wasn't water. It was, what do you call it? Kool-Aid. I don't drink Kool-Aid. I don't eat white bread. I don't eat bologna sandwiches, but I did. And that'd be another story on this, and I can't go there. But they had a big pewter thing full of ice and all that. And somebody, the guy that I took his job away, that if you check out Go to Jail number 64, I took his job away. That guy grabbed the pewter full of ice and Kool-Aid and smashed it a few times over this guy with blonde hair. He's a real nice looking guy. Well, he went to the hospital and he broke his jaw. And the guy with the big knife, that guy, Slim, he was involved too. So both of those guys that were involved with me in episode Go to Jail 64 were now apprehended to go spend a little more time in the little community that they had. So I'm sitting there and I'm hearing this story that this guy that kind of was a friend of mine, not a friend, acquaintance, we were playing cards. Good looking blonde haired guy, bushy blonde haired guy. And he got his face smashed in with the guy that I took his job from. So my point being is, well, first of all, what do we got? Is jail a worse place? Alyssa, jail, I don't know if it's a worse place, but you have to have no fear. This is your test. God forbid you go there, to have no fear. People with fear will have things taken from them. And I haven't gone there on that, but it will happen. And they'll attack you on different levels. Always with fear. As life is, they attack you wherever they can to have fear. Fear feeds negativity. Fear feeds negativity. If you can understand that, maybe you can understand where I'm coming from. Okay, what do we got down the bottom? Hey, Xtac, 1886. Nah, prison's jail's death. The preferable option to prefer incarceration. Well, you know what? Incarceration. You might want to be in a holding cell where there's nobody around you. I would prefer that because I like meditating. And the more people I have around me, it's more difficult for me to meditate. But I don't, by God's grace, don't ever plan on going back to that situation. I was just taking a situation of my lifetime that I had to deal with that might have been negative, that I turned around to positive. And the whole crux of this whole video is we all hold a balance. We all hold a balance. You don't realize what the balance you have. The last job I had before this one, it was on emissions, and I can't go there other than they were I don't want to go there, but I guess I have to. They wanted a body. They gave good money, but you had to follow a format, and if you didn't, to the T, you're out of there. And when it came down to me wearing a mask, when I had to say, No, because I dealt with doctors that said from Mayo Clinic that 3 masks will not help you how could 1 mask help you? That was my question. Not only that, but they wanted me to wear a mask that I would be having hundreds of people going through my line, that I would be promoting fear. And I do not promote fear. I fight fear. And that's what I'm saying. No fear. No fear in jail, no fear in your life, anywhere you go, from the time you're born. I was 4 when I learned about having no fear. And that's what I'm saying. We either have fear or we have faith. And I say it's more positive to have faith. Okay, it's 50 minutes. I'm done. If anybody's lasted this long, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Join my club. Subscribe to me. I'll subscribe to you. And again, I post also that if you don't look at episode, I did this 2 years ago, Go to Jail, episode 64. I didn't edit any words. And I'm going to say again, if you don't laugh once on Go to Jail, episode 64, take me off your subscription. I think I don't think you belong here. You got to laugh once. If not, I understand. We all have cosmic humor. Cosmic humor is as dark as it is, as it's been said by the wise men. The darker the night, the brighter the stars. If you understand that, fine. If you don't, you have more things to learn. I'm sorry for the delay here. The sun's gone down. God bless anybody that's been listening so long. Again, thumbs up, thumbs down. Join my club. You subscribe to me, I'll subscribe to you. And if you go to Jail, episode 64, and you don't laugh, you have my permission to no longer be a subscriber. I like subscribers, but I don't need them that bad. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel. Till then, be well. God victory. Take care.